think there's more dialogue needed, not just talk, but deeds to be done. I think that we can do better as man, as a human race. I think we can do better as a society. I think we need to really look deep into ourselves and realize that this is something that we're not going to get away with. If we don't begin to work as a team, if we don't begin to accept people as they are and not try to change them to be what we want them to be, that this world as we know will cease to exist. I look at this and it's almost like living in the caveman period. We have, only thing that we have developed is a better stick. We haven't done anything. We have done very little. I cannot even imagine that you still have individuals in this country who believe because my skin is brown and their skin is pinkish, that they are more intelligent, that they are better than me, and that I'm worth it. How could you actually really believe this in this day and age? But we do. You know, and I see the media play on this. I see the presidents play on this. I see every politician play on this. This is a ridiculous state of mind at this point. If to allow anybody to even, there should be a rule, there should be a class in school that you must take throughout your educational lifetime that address this fact that skin color has nothing to do with who a person is and how they behave, no matter what. Even though I see a lot of black people who are dressed as hoodlums and dressed poorly, that doesn't mean they're underneath that dress that they're like that. But it also has to do with the parenting aspect. You know, and I'm saying if my father dresses like that, why wouldn't I dress like that? Because I learned that's okay. Even now in our society, I look at, even with white people, they don't know how to dress for occasions because no one is teaching them. They assume that even going to a wedding, wearing a pair of sneakers and a t-shirt, it's okay. It's not, because it's a semi-formal engagement. And this is what we're not teaching our children. We're letting them get away with things, and our children are the seeds who are going to develop eventually into individuals, and what we give them is what they are going to become. And this is the things that we're not thinking clearly about what we are truly doing. I can imagine adults who are tearing up the world. I mean, I wanted to say this, you know, even when I look at Africa, and I said one thing about, imagine if the white man never built a ship before. But when I look at this man, he has, and this is where I have to confront the white man, because he always tries to be this innocent individual. Like, oh, look at us. We're so nice. We haven't done anything. You have done a lot. You have wronged a lot of people. And don't think that people are going to forgive you so easily. I said, you went to Africa. The Europeans went to Africa, and they destroyed this country. They killed everything they could get their hand on. They stole the diamonds. They stole the gold. They killed the elephants. They killed the lions. They killed everything that ran, jumped, or crawled. They came over to America. They did exactly the same thing. They wiped out the people. They killed all the buffalo. They killed the beaver. I said, you have to understand, this is part of your culture. I said, in the same mentality that you have when you came here and with black people and you put them in slavery, you hung them, even in the 50s. You know, when my father when I was growing up, I seen the distress on my father's face sometimes, but I didn't understand it because they didn't bring this kind of stuff into our house. But I realized the kind of stuff that my father had to deal with in the 60s, in the 50s, just to be a man. And I'm saying, and who were these people who perpetrated? When you talk to white people, they give you the opinion, they give you the idea that they had nothing to do with it, and this was so long ago, and what are you talking about? It hasn't been so long ago because it's been in my lifetime. So that's not so long ago. And I say, if we've learned from this, that's the important part. If we have learned from that situation, if we have learned from that part of history and became better, then I could say, sure. But what I know and what I see is that this has been perpetuated. And there's more Klan members. And even like I'm in Minneapolis now. I grew up in Philadelphia, but I'm in Minneapolis now. Even in Minneapolis, I see people who look at me as if I'm about to kill them or rob them. I see, and even I know, because I've seen racism most of my life, I see that there's a big separation between black people and white people. And this is almost throughout America. This is a ridiculous. If we live in this country and we live here and we share here, I'm telling you at this point right now, I'm going to tell the white people that black people ain't going to go nowhere. You ain't going to run them out to Africa. You ain't going to kill them out. This is not going to happen. And for black people, you are not going to run white people out of this country. They're staying here. So the best thing we can do is learn to get along with each other. You know, and leave the Mexicans alone. You know, I didn't even understand this immigration thing. We're like dogs. This is my country. It's not your country. You don't own land. You don't own anything. This is not your country. We're part of a global world. And some idiot took a piece of paper and drew lines representing land and said, this is ours and this is mine. That's completely a European concept. This is mine. You can't possess a piece of land, but you try to. And put borders around it and fences up. And then you want to talk about another group of people who want to live better and say, look at them trying to get in our country. You same immigrants who came from Europe who try to get into America. Jesus, I said, you know, if we really think about sometimes what we're saying and how we're treating people and the way we portray ourselves, I said, maybe we would be better. We need a mirror or a recorder to play back some of the things we say and think. It is ridiculous. I'm here hoping that we can become a better people. I pray to God, and I do believe in God, that we can learn to become better people, that we can learn from our mistakes, that we can learn from history, that it could be a better life that we live on this planet, that we can share with each other, that more cultures enrich us. And tolerance is something that you have to learn. And patience is something that you must learn. And it's not always going to be the way you want to, but you don't have to go into it and you don't have to separate yourself. And I've said, and I hoped in this lifetime that I would see some of the woes of our society be fixed or healed. And I'm sad to say that I shall never see this before my eyes close.